Hey guys, welcome back. So for the past few weeks, I've been asking myself this question. And really this started for me when the teaser trailer dropped for Captain America Brave New World, when we got our first look, kinda, at the Thaddeus Ross Red Hulk. And this set up a sequence of thoughts in my mind cause for one, I was thinking like, okay, this movie comes out February 14th of 2025, so it's gonna be a while before we actually get to go to theaters and see it. And don't take me wrong, I thought this teaser trailer was awesome, but at the same time I was thinking this is kinda early, what's going on? But then I thought about it, cause with this trailer dropping almost 2 weeks before the release of Deadpool and Wolverine, which I went to see this weekend and it was fire. We finally got to see Hugh Jackman in the iconic yellow and blue costume. It was amazing. But I couldn't help thinking that this was probably set up to get MCU fans and viewers who are already going to see Deadpool excited for what was just around the corner. Because with this combination of hype going into this past weekend, it had me thinking like, man, is Marvel Studios doing some course correcting? Is the MCU coming back? So heading into this weekend, these were the questions I was asking myself. So I was already planning to do a video to stir up the conversation in the comments so I can get an idea of what you guys think. And then on Saturday, Comic-Con just blew the lid off the internet, with us getting the announcements of Avengers Doomsday, Avengers Secret Wars, and Robert Downey Jr. returning to the MCU as Dr. Doom. And I'll admit, as exciting as this is, I can't help but to feel a little conflicted about it, because by no means do I believe this is taken away from everything RDJ has done thus far as Iron Man. If anything, I almost feel like it's taking some away from Doom and what Doom could have been in the MCU for years to come. And I'm sure I'm gonna get plenty of pushback for saying it, but hey, I guess it comes with the job. And I gotta keep it 100 with you guys. Because if you think about it, Robert Downey Jr. played a role where he died being the hero, only to live long enough to see himself become the villain. So for a moment here, I want to talk about a couple of reasons why this announcement pulled me in two different directions, because there's also part of me that thinks this could be a really good thing. But just to take it from the top, from what I understand, bringing back Robert Downey Jr. was the safe bet solution after the whole situation with Jonathan Majors, which resulted in Marvel Studios doing a hard pivot from Avengers Kang Dynasty. So as it would seem, the Dr. Doom we're getting in the MCU, his run is mainly going to span between Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, and I mean possibly earlier than that if he's in the Fantastic Four film, which takes place on an alternate reality with a retro futuristic 60s setting, and an actual Galactus showing up, which is awesome and terrifying, but still awesome. Because not only have I been desperately awaiting the appearance of a live-action Galactus, but also I've been waiting on a story that made him feel significant again. Because for the past 10 plus years in comics, Galactus has just felt like a punching bag, or a tool to make other characters seem powerful. And I mean, that might still be the case, but we'll see. And while we're on the topic of the Fantastic Four, I also want to say I think it's a great idea to have their story take place in another universe before bringing the characters over. I think it's way cleaner than trying to shoehorn them into the main timeline that's been established already, because it's already jam-packed. But I say this because I think RDJ's Doom is coming from the same universe as the Fantastic Four, though I'm not really sure about that. But I think it would be the right move. But if this is the case, then we're looking at a Doom run that's probably going to be from 2025 to 2027. Because I'm almost certain this version of Doom, his version's going to end with Avengers Secret Wars. But even if that's the case, it's not necessarily a bad thing. And here's a couple reasons why, because this video is just a thought dump. Because I'm thinking if this leads to a moment like we got in the 2015 Secret Wars, where God Emperor Doom pulled Thanos' spine and skull out of his body, it would be insanely epic to see this done by Robert Downey Jr., especially if this version of Doom saw how Tony Stark died in Avengers Endgame. And what's going to be the reaction of Tom Holland's Spider-Man when he sees Dr. Doom looks just like Tony Stark? Because that's gotta happen at some point. And after seeing things like Loki Season 2, which ended with Loki holding the multiverse together and literally saving everyone, this now has me thinking like, man, we just might get a moment where MCU Doom goes after him, which could lead to a scene where we get a live action version of what we saw when Doom Supreme went up against Avenger Prime Loki, when that Doom attempted to rewrite the multiverse. The only difference being this time around, Doom wins. And I mean, we could probably have a whole nother discussion about what I want to see in Secret Wars, but I'll even say now that I'm hoping, however they plan to handle it, I'm just hoping that this opens up the conversation to bringing in a T'Challa Black Panther from an alternate reality. Because the conversation of recasting Chadwick Boseman, it's been a very sensitive topic. and understandably so. But I do believe if they were to bring in a new T'Challa from another reality, and I mean preferably from the same reality as the Fantastic Four, this would be a great way to bring back the character without replacing the amazing one we had. So yeah, just something I was thinking. You guys let me know what you think down in the comments. Because in my humble opinion, if we're ever gonna get another MCU T'Challa anytime soon, he needs to be from the same Earth as the Fantastic Four. And I'm just gonna leave that there. Let me know what you guys think. Sound off in the comments. But yeah, as far as how I feel about Robert Downey Jr. playing Doom, on one hand I'm like, hey, this could be amazing. On the other hand, maybe it's just safe. But nonetheless, with everything that's building up here, it feels like the MCU is getting exciting again. So in a way, I'm just excited about the return of the excitement. But aside from this, another thing I wanted to talk about was the upcoming Thunderbolts film. Excuse me, Thunderbolts with an asterisk film that's coming out in May of 2025, which as of now puts us at 3 films for 2025, starting with Captain America: Brave New World, followed by the Thunderbolts with an asterisk, and then Fantastic Four: First Steps. But getting back to the Thunderbolts, we now have confirmation that Lewis Pullman is playing the Sentry. And I'm gonna tell you, to me, this is exciting news, because right away this had me thinking, with Deadpool and Wolverine proving that the MCU can have a successful R-rated movie, this proves that hopefully, somewhere down the line, we could possibly get an R-rated Sentry movie that shows us the forgotten history of Bob Reynolds, who might have previously been a member of the Avengers. And I'll admit, if it even goes that far, I can only imagine they're not going to include any involvement with Doctor Strange, who teamed up with his old professor to create this illusion about Bob's life not being real. Because after Spider-Man No Way Home, this would make Doctor Strange seem like a complete jerk. So I'm sure if we do get more of Bob Reynolds' story, certain liberties will be taken to either make it fit into something much smaller and more contained, or it'll be just one of those things that we're left wondering about. And even if it's not his own standalone film, I just think it would be awesome to see more of the Sentry in the MCU even after Thunderbolts, interacting with other characters so the casual viewer can understand how insanely powerful he is. So yeah, those are just some of my thoughts I've been going back and forth with lately, because as it would seem, the MCU's getting good again. But of course, we won't really know the taste or the temperature to much of this until we see more trailers or when the rest of these films actually come out. But with that said, I want to hand it back over to you guys. Let me know where you stand as far as the current state of the MCU, as well as how you think things are looking heading forward with Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. And let me know, are you digging the new announcements, or were you screaming at your screen like put it back the way it was? Because for me, aside from Deadpool Wolverine, the way I see it, Loki's been carrying the MCU on his back for quite some time now. Like, he's literally holding it together by himself. So to me, it really seems like it's time for the other films to step in and pick up some of that weight. Because again, I imagine when Avengers Secret Wars comes out, that's likely going to be the end of Loki holding everything together as well. And following that, going into the next phase, we're looking at the Mutant Cinematic Universe. But this stretch between 2025 and 2027, it needs to stick the landing first. And I'm optimistic that it will, because so far 2024 has got the future looking bright, which I imagine is the reason why. It's very likely we'll see more of Hugh Jackman in the MCU, at least up until 2027. But those are my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And so now real quick, I want to give a special shout out to all the patrons. Thank you guys for all of your support. And for anyone who's new here, who wants more information on how to support the channel, I got a link below where you can go to patreon.com/dopespill. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll do it again on the next one. Alright, later.